Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast and continuing the series Autistic Assemble for Autism Awareness Acceptance Month. Today I'm joined with SD Flame, and it's going to be a really cool episode because we're going to be sharing our experiences with autism growing up, and especially in this episode, it's going to be talking about music, rapping, and autism as well. So it's going to be a really cool chat. All the way from Canada as well. So it's going to be awesome. So SD Flame, would you mind doing a little introduction of yourself?
Hey, yo, what's up? It's SD Flame. I've been in hip hop for years. I started rapping when I was 16 years old. I'm from Saga City, Mississauga. Made it to Toronto. Done many big things. I got a lot of stories to tell. Some good wisdom, some good knowledge. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool to chat about all that, because you know a lot more about rap and hip hop than I do. So I might learn a few things. Because I was like, before today, I did have a listen to some songs that you've been doing, and it is really good work.
Thanks.
Yeah. I saw you've done like you do quite a lot of songs as well. So you do spend a lot of your time on it.
I spend a lot of hours down here. This room right here has seen me in many moods, like shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So when like I know we spoke about it in the pre-chat, but just for people who are curious and want to know a little bit more, like when was you diagnosed with autism?
I would say about 4.5, 5, around there. That was like my first diagnosis. It was it's the outdated term now, but that was like my first diagnosis. Then I got learning disability. Wait, it was actually learning disability was later, and then ADHD was the other part of my diagnosis at the time.
Okay. So it was quite like I was diagnosed with 9, so we were quite young when getting diagnosed as well.
And I didn't know much what was happening then. I just remember going in the room and then after my mom crying. But at the same time, you're a kid, you don't really know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, like it's really hard to adjust, especially when you are a kid, because you don't think you don't really know what it is at that time, and I guess until we're maybe a little bit older, we understand what it is. I think. So I think one of
Yeah, as you get older, you understand it more and more.
yeah. I guess so. Like, with autism, I know we spoke a little bit about in the pre-chat about getting bullied. Like, would you mind? I want to share a little bit about your story about getting bullied.
So to understand the beginning of, I guess, like the hip hop period, right? You got to understand where I'm from, right?
Yeah.
So the city I'm from, Mississauga, was like there was a lot of like pockets where there was more like more immigrant populations living there. So you would have and my city itself was around like 50% immigrants and whatever. So it was like a very big culture mix. You would have cultures from all around the world settle in my neighborhood. And like a lot of people worked hard. People were marginalized too, besides ableism too, obviously. So that was like a big thing. And like most ASDs, I was bullied for, being different. You're not really accepted that much. And also my home life was rough at the time too. So I would spend a lot of time outside on the block, walking around like a stray dog.
Yeah.
And like, so it was I had nowhere to go. I legit actually had nowhere to go in life. And so I just wander around my city, wander around my neighborhood, and that was like the beginning of it. Now I get like a lot of cultural influence from what like was around me. So yeah, school wasn't easy either. I was bullied too. People will always try to like start shit for no reason, just for being different. That's what I realized, and whatever. That's what it came down to. And the day that made me want to be a rapper was this. I was in the high school cafeteria, and I was just chilling, and they were trying to start shit with me again and start a rap battle. But so I was peer pressured into this battle, but then I won the battle. Also, my neighborhood too was known for hip hop. We had rappers who were considered popular in my neighborhood, and these guys had a lot of like humility and respect too. It was a lot of cultural mixing. Like there was the Arabs, there was the Latinos, Filipino people, Caribbean. It was a very big cultural place. So like you would hear us, you hear obviously from the mainstream hip hop too, but you'd hear also the underground side of it too, and you'd hear what the rappers and your local rappers are doing, what your local guys are doing as well. So I was peer pressured to the battle and won the battle. And at that point, it was like being a gladiator. I battled for my respect right to the end of high school.
Yeah, yeah. There's like it's like it does sound like a battle really. Like with getting bullied and like you say, people do start rubbish, and it is annoying because you try and ask for support, I guess, and you don't get it, and you get told maybe you're lying and stuff like that. But it's good that like in a way some good came out of it, which that you
Yeah.
started. That's kind of how your journey started, like with music and rapping.
But at the same time, like the trauma I took from ableism over the years, even after high school, struggled a bit in my 20s too, was pretty hard on me too, because it was like, how to explain this? In the beginning, it was like, obviously, they disliked ASDs in general, but then over time, it became more of an just people being ignorant. Like, it wasn't like they hated you, but they just didn't know what they're talking about. So it was like I worked a lot in the nightlife. I was a dishwasher for many years, working in bars, and I work in like the downtown part of my city, and a lot of neurodivergents worked in the downtown area too because they were always hiring. So a lot of us wanted a way to like work up and whatever. So a lot of us went there for work. It was not an easy place to work for us.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like ableism, and that's what kind of happened. And like even then, like I was battling probably a lot for like my respect, ciphering and doing what I gotta do. And I remember I earned enough money to then build this recording studio.
Yeah, yeah, and you spend most of your time in there, don't you? Like with doing music and even podcasts now. So
Yeah, like I set up a certain way for podcasting, for music. I got to set up a certain way. I can't record sitting down. I have too much energy because my ADHD.
yeah,
This room seen my whole craziness.
yeah, yeah. It is good to have your own space as well.
Yeah, true. And keep in mind, this room was in like my mom's townhouse, right?
Mm.
And keep in mind, it was like a weird room. The guy built it because he was renting rooms in the house. And so like when we first moved here, when my parents split, it was a very kind of like sad time, whatever. This room was just empty. No one really used this room. And then I converted it into a recording studio.
Yeah,
And like
make some use out of it.
I made some use out of it. It's and a lot of people like coming down here now and just taking a look around.
Yeah, have a good tour.
Yeah, they like sometimes chilling down here, listening to music. Sometimes even if like they aren't like a full-on beat maker or whatever. I had like people come down here, even my family members. Like they're not fully in hip hop and whatever, but like they would try to make a beat or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, a couple beers down here.
yeah,
So like I would say, yeah, like I took every single form of bullying there has to be in this world. I took physical, cyber, social, like every single type of bullying I took.
yeah. It's tough, isn't it? Especially if you're young. Um, like because people do, I think, maybe pick on the vulnerable people who maybe they feel like at that specific time that they can't defend themselves or they won't say anything.
Well, I did combat sports back in the day too, but like I would say like part of the reason why I even got into hip hop too, I just didn't want to be a victim anymore.
Yeah,
And I'd rather would have like fought back.
Yeah.
and it kind of gave me a bit of a psychological edge sometimes.
Yeah. Definitely. Like with your ADHD. So was you diagnosed with that when you was 4 as well, or was that a little
Yeah,
bit
it was.
different? Oh yeah, 4. Okay.
My learning disability came when I was about 10 years old.
Yeah.
So like that's where like my stories in hip hop began. I would just spend a lot of time walk around like a stray dog. Like it was nice to be ciphering, whatever, and just be. It was not really like an easy time, but over time I started to build networks,
Yeah.
and I started to get to know more people. At one point, I even had I still have homies that are club promoters, and they would like take me out too. I was socially awkward, but I made it work.
Yeah.
Like over time, people started to like me more. They thought it was funny though, whatever, and they'd be like, oh, this guy's here. This is the funny guy. But like they would joke around with me, but at the same time, they cared about me still.
Yeah. Yeah. I
They,
think it is good to have a joke around sometimes.
like yeah, like I have a lot of your local homies. Like they still joke around with me, but at the end of the day, I know they still care about me.
Yeah.
They still got love for me. So that
Yeah.
was like my beginning of it too, and then it kind of just fleshed out from here. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so and so long story short, I came from being like the social outcast and whatever to getting sent to Toronto for this and really training hard. I even went to like open mics all over the Greater Toronto area. I performed in other cities in my area and even Toronto itself. And I'll just take any open mic I can get my hands on and just like network my way around. And I was always kind of ready to go. And that was a thing too. But then I also have to be mentally conditioned to do this too. And that's a whole kind of thing too, because the way they mentally condition neurodivergent rappers is different from neurotypical rappers
Yeah.
because they're dealing with a different brain type.
That's
So
it. Yeah.
you're dealing with a different brain type. So when it comes down to like getting neurodivergent rappers to be ready to be conditioned behind the mic, it's like they put more emphasis on detense and anti-anxiety. So because you get more anxiety, but then at the same time, they don't need to train you to think fast. You already know how to think fast. So like they might train you a little bit how to think fast, but you already know that. So what's the point?
Yeah.
So like I remember like a lot of times when I was learning how to rap, it was breathe not just to have enough breath in you to continue rapping, but breathe to control your anxiety, control your heartbeat, and adjust your beat to your head to a BPM. If you know what I mean, right? So it was like it takes a lot to learn how to do that, but you can't.
Yeah. Yeah, because like when I hear like people rap, I think it used to be so out of breath because you say all these words so fast, and like especially if you do a rap battle as well, because like it seems really hard to me, but it might easier to you of course because you're used to it.
You get used to it over time. You're not gonna like step in to the mic and be like the best. You're not gonna be like that. It's gonna be you're gonna step to the mic and over time you start training hard and you start gaining your confidence too. They also put a lot of confidence training on us too. To train our confidence and get us ready to be behind the mic too. I did a lot of confidence training. I had to like learn how to breathe, learn how to act more confident, speak with more dynamic in my voice too. So they do a lot of that when they condition ASD rappers to be rappers.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Music is just a really passionate thing, isn't it? I found to like a lot of autistic people in the community that like music, whatever kind of music, if it's rap or if it's something else. Um, but to me, I do the one music that I don't like is metal music. I like rap, but metal kind of gets to my brain a little bit, and I don't like that kind of music.
Well, the autism community itself and autism culture, in my opinion, is an artist culture. We live in a culture as autistics where our true underground culture is art. I think, because like there's been so many artists through so many years, everything from, can you pick up a pencil? Can you pick up a camera? Can you pick up a mic? Can you pick up an instrument? Can you be a graphic designer? Those were all really big things that affected the community as a whole, in my opinion. Even when you see even some other guys see from the programs, they're drawing, they're doing their thing too. And I've seen, podcasts become a big thing too. I've seen a few of them. At one point I was doing a webinar for an employment service, and one of the guys in there showed me his mic. He had his mic hooked up and everything. He's doing a podcast, and I'm like, there you go. That's a good hardworking man. Let's go make something happen. And I feel like that's always a great thing I love to see from the community, is just us getting up and working hard.
Yeah, we do quite a lot. As you say, like you've got podcasts, you've got people doing designs and music, and it's really an art kind of community, because so many people, I guess, they thrive when they do these kind of certain stuff, because it is fun. It is fun to do, because like it's nice to see other people how they do things.
Yeah, sounds good. I like seeing it too. I like going to the programs and seeing what the guys are up to, or see what other people in there are up to, and see the good hard work they're doing. I'm like, damn. Like this is the stuff that makes you proud.
Yeah, because it does take a lot. We spoke about confidence. It takes a lot of confidence to do like a podcast, to do music, anything really.
Yeah, confidence. Well, wait, my bad. Confidence, resiliency. Yeah.
Yeah, because like for us getting diagnosed quite young, we would not probably had no clue what was happening at a certain time. But as we got older, we got our confidence to do the stuff we want to do. And like with podcasting, for instance, like I said, I remember I said on the pre-chat, I never heard of a podcast before I started it. I decided to create one purely because I was bored, and it was lockdown at the time, and I learned it because like I listen to a lot of music myself, like on Spotify and stuff, and then you see other podcasts on there, and you think, hang on a minute, you find out stuff. So really, they're all connected in little ways. Because if you listen to a podcast, normally you have a tune before maybe it begins and stuff like that. And music is involved around a lot of things, not just podcasts, TV shows. Near enough everywhere we go, music is involved.
Yes, it is. It's a big thing, I feel. So it's like, and that's why I love it too. I just feel like it brought my music. I felt like kind of brought what I wanted to show the world out of me. And when I think about it now, where it was like, I've done my articles, I've done all this stuff and whatever, and it's just like, it's kind of crazy when I think back about where I come and what I have done to get myself to where I am today.
Yeah. Like it takes like we have these goals, and you get to them like you like when did you start performing like at different places then, like with your rap?
I would say I was 19 years old. I was 19 years old when I started like open micing. I just wanted to do something better with my life at the time. I felt like I was in such a, when like I was working the nightlife, I felt like I was just kind of like in this deep hole where it was like I needed to do something. Like it was and it was getting real bad for me. The reason why I say stay blessed at the end of my TikToks is to be thankful. I'm thankful that every day that I get up and I got something to fight for compared to where I could have been. So to me, that is always a great thing about me. I'm thankful every day for that.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for life, because I felt like at that point it was just sad and hopeless, and I didn't know where to go from here. So I had this trauma. So I thought to myself, let me try again. Let me pick up the mic again, and let me see what I can do. Maybe if I could train hard enough and figure this out, I can make it work.
Yeah, It is a good way to be because like I imagine the first time you ever done it, you're probably really nervous, or you might be really confident at the time, and then you go on to lead on to do more in different places, and well, I guess when you do more, it must feel good because like people want to hear you and you want to do it at the same time, like to share the different music you do.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's not even about music anymore. Sometimes I feel like it's also about like I made the people in my life proud of me. I made the homies proud of me. I made my family proud of me, even though that like I didn't grow up in an easy family environment.
Hmm.
I felt like I made a lot of people proud and happy to be where I am today. I feel like I went over, I inspired other autistics too and other people with disabilities to do more with their lives too. During the pandemic, I did a few webinars for employment service, and that was like one of the things I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah. Like, do you prefer to do it online over than in person, or don't you mind?
I could do both.
You can do
The
both.
reason why I did them in online was, COVID lockdowns.
Yeah, yeah. Because like the reason I ask because like I guess it's a little bit of a different environment sometimes because you may not feel you're being as watched online as maybe in person, because you're actually there. Because yeah, like if you're good with both, even better.
Yeah, for me, it's just I could do both. If they want to switch me to in person, hell yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. You'll do it.
So, what do you also got for questions?
Um, like, do you want to talk about like any recent music like you've done recently?
I like released GTA, so if anyone wants to go stream that, Spotify, other streaming platforms, you already know it's kind of a tribute to where I'm from,
Yeah.
the Greater Toronto area. It's a tribute to that. So I don't know if anyone from the UK knows what I'm talking about, but hey, go stream it.
Um.
Because I did my Thomas Hanley podcast, and now I got a bunch of the UK looking at me.
Yeah. Thomas Hanley is great. Like he like we've been on each other's podcast as well, so some of my listeners will know who he is as well. But I got asked though, like you say GTA, does that have any like relation to the game, the video game, or is it just about like your life and where you're from?
Well, the GTA is called the Greater Toronto Area. So
Okay.
like not just like Toronto itself, but the cities surrounding Toronto. Like we're talking like the Toronto metropolitan area and whatever. But I am a fan of the GTA games.
Yeah.
I am kind of a fan of GTA San Andreas and
Yeah.
and that is like one thing though. So maybe you can take it as that. But I was just trying to kind of create a tribute.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to create a tribute. Like with GTA games, like I think like the next one should come soon, really, shouldn't it? Because the last one's been out.
Oh, it's been a
It's old.
while.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah. Um, but it is yeah, good name, good name. Um, so what have you got any plans for any going to any more events in the future or anything like that? Have you got any plans to
I
do?
100% do. I feel like this is only the beginning. The thing I think back when I think back to my crazy life is that like I think that the thing that always gets to me is I look at myself in the mirror and saying, "This is the beginning. All this that you see around you that you just started is only a beginning. There's gonna be way more to this shit. So like strap in. So strap in and hold onto your seat tight. This is gonna be a long journey."
Yeah, yeah,
And I always sense that with myself. Like it's just a deep sense that I have. Like when I look back to like when I first started till now, like last summer was like considered like my rookie year in Toronto. Like my first year where like I wasn't just doing open mics, but I was actually accepted into learning and training.
yeah. yeah. It's good to have goals, like you have ideas. But when you make a song, how like what's the process like to create a song or create an album? Does it kind of depend on what song you're doing, or do you have to
It
spend a little
depends the
time on
vibe.
it? Yeah,
It depends the vibe. There's times I've scoured the beats for YouTube. I can make beats here and there too. I have that bit of background about me too, and I would just feel the vibe out. I would have like topics I've written about, ideas for hooks and whatever. Like I'll write them down somewhere when I can't write. Like for example, during my shift. I'm a line cook now. I ain't a dishwasher anymore though. So I would like go about it, feel the vibe out, and just get it popping, get things moving. Like, and I just love vibing the beats too.
yeah,
I love a good producer. I love a good beat maker. Just to create a really good beat and like vibe out and be like, just create a hook and just feel it. It's kind of also a scattered way I write too, because my brain can be jumbled up too, because my ADHD. So like, I'll just write whatever I'm feeling and vibe into whatever I can think of, and I'll put it all together with a hook, with some dope ass lyrics. You know that nice flow I have.
yeah,
Put it all together. I wanted to create a sound at the time that was laid back, but also hits hard.
yeah. Like meaningful as well.
Meaningful too. When I got into hip hop, I just wanted to create meaningful music too. I wanted to create something that would say like, that would resonate with an audience, resonate with people that listen to it, resonate with the people that are close to me, anyone.
Yeah, yeah. It's really important. It's good that you relate your music to kind of your journey and your life, because like it makes it easier, I guess, for you to do as well, because things are maybe going on in your life, or have gone on, and you kind of know a little bit maybe what you're gonna do a song about.
Yeah, I do. It's one of those things. It's like you gotta like find it in you. I feel like to like create this kind of stuff and make it poppin', and I love it. It can be stressful, but I still love it. Like you can wake up with a lot of stress on you. You can wake up with headaches. You can wake up with your voice not sounding the same. Like you can wake up with every single joint in your body aching, but you still got to get up and you still do it. You gotta love the craft. You gotta love the craft. You gotta love the culture.
Yeah, you have. And like do you spend you spend a lot of your time, but do you have some days off as well, just so you can rest?
I got some days off here and there. Like depending when like if I get like too burnt out, then I have a funny thing where if I get too studio burnt out, then I'll go hang out with the bros. If I get too socially burnt out, I'll be in the studio.
Yeah,
So they'll be like, where the hell is he? And like, where the hell is SD Flame? And they'll be like, he's probably in the studio right now. Give him a big, he'll come out with something.
yeah. I guess you win in both worlds.
Yeah, because I could be, for someone who has a disability that makes them socially awkward person, so people think I'm kind of being charismatic.
Yeah,
And it's like a weird kind of dynamic, but people like it about me. Like people like me, I feel like, for it. So it's just one of those things. It's like it's hard to explain.
yeah,
Really hard to explain.
yeah, yeah. Because like like especially like if you have a very long day in the studio, like doing all the music, you might really shattered and burn out, and then perhaps people ask you to meet up, and maybe you don't feel like you can, but because you're so tired, as well.
I've done like stuff like that. Like I would go to like if I'm that tired, I won't go to let's say like a club where I have to dance. You'd probably find me at a nearby bar
Yeah,
where I'm probably more laid back and whatever. And I have connections too. So it's like bartenders know me, like a lot like people that work there, kitchen staffs and some of these bars know me too. And they'll be like, hey, what's up? Because like I'll have like these stories where I would like take a small bar or whatever and make the place bounce like a nightclub.
Yeah.
So, and let's just say people will remember you.
Yeah. It's good though. It's good that they remember you.
They'll be like, "Hey, what's up, bro? What are you saying?" And they'll like really enjoy it too. And it's like also like even that's where it kind of comes from too. We all just kind of like chill and whatever. But I feel like at the same time, I had to kind of feel like I had to earn it though, if you know what I mean. So it's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like I look back at myself too, where it's like I had to kind of like earn myself to be accepted.
Yeah. I think you have to, and well, you have to. It's I guess it's a lot. You identify and you discover like how certain things affect you and in the
Hmm.
world, with being autistic and understanding that, and um ADHD as well.
Yeah,
You kind of discover yourself what you can and you can't do. Perhaps um like you may not like certain noises, and then you'll love rabbit, those kind of sounds. So
yeah,
I love it when everyone's different because like I always say if we're all the same, we just go mad. We'll know what you'll know what I'm going to say, and I know what you're going to say. There's no point in doing a podcast. No point doing anything.
yeah. I feel you. Well, the thing about me is that like I'm very well adjusted, so it's like I can like deal with a bunch of noises and whatever. The thing I just don't like is when I have bright lights in my eyes. But like if I'm in a club and there's bright lights, but they're not not in my eyes, I'm fine. Like you'll just see me there just chilling. But like if I'm on stage and I got the lights on me or whatever, I'll put on my sunglasses and I'll be like my hat and like I'll get like suited up. Or
Yeah,
if I'm in a high pressure situation, I'll be suited up because not only you have to deal with the lights from the stage coming on, but everyone has a phone now, and people want to look cool on social media.
they do, and like
So it's like they're gonna be like, if they like you, they're gonna like they're gonna have your camera flashes on you. You're gonna have like a bunch. You're gonna probably have like maybe like 10 or 20 lights on you at the same time.
yeah.
And so like I'll tend to put my sunglasses on so I don't get too overwhelmed and keep in the zone while performing.
Yeah, yeah, it is hard because, like you say, like you have everyone with lights on and they'll be waving their phone back and forth like that, and yeah, it's not great. Like I don't really like lights either. Like I don't really like flashing lights. Um, I like if I go to an arcade, um. Like near where I live, they changed how the arcade looks and everything, and now it's literally filled with lights everywhere. And it's almost like you're on a dance floor, but you're not. You're in this arcade doing like the claw machines and everything. Um,
Damn, I worked in like an arcade place before, so like I feel you on that, but I was a dishwasher there. So, but it depends. As long as like the lights are not directly in my eyes, I'm okay with it.
yeah,
Like as long as they're not like, but I dealt with flashlights before. As long as like I don't feel like they're all pointed at me, then I can hit the dance floor or whatever and be
yeah,
a really chill person.
yeah,
Like I have bros who are club promoters, so like I was in the nightlife for many years. Like I've been clubbing in my city, downtown Toronto too.
yeah, yeah, and I guess how they do these like the lights and everything. I think everywhere's like a little bit different, aren't they? They'll do it more lighty somewhere else, and not so much somewhere else.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good shout. To put sunglasses on. As well.
Well, like if they're like if they're directly in my eyes and I need to focus, I need to focus. I need to focus on rapping. I need to focus on making sure that my lyrics are on point. I got to focus on this freestyle being on point. So I'll warm up before I get up on stage. I'll be warming up. With me having my combat sports background too, I'd be bouncing the balls with my feet, looking like I'm ready to go in.
Yeah.
And then I'll go in and then I'll make it work and do what I gotta do. I know a lot of the sound guys and DJ guys too, so they know me and how I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like chill about it too.
Yeah. Um. like like so to each venue you go to and each place you go to, do they like understand like about your about like have autism, or do you tell them or inform them or anything, or do you just go for it?
I just talk it out with them for a bit, and they're pretty chill about it. Like a lot of people I met, like it's not like there's like a like they're not like the ableist towards me, but there's ableist in my city still. Like that's why I ended up in hip hop. So it's like, but at the same time, it's like it was just crazy too. I remember because I like I took ableism and there was other people around me of other minorities and they'd be taking discrimination types of their own, different types of discrimination on their own, and they would try to be doing something too. Like in my neighborhood, if you could pick up a camera, are you a good athlete? What can you do? What can you do that could be something? Can you be an entrepreneur? Can you make a clothing line? There's always was like some kind of shit like that.
Yeah,
Always.
yeah.
And even then,
always.
there was like other rappers in my neighborhood too, and beat makers and DJs. Like hip hop was a big thing for us.
Yeah,
And some of the local rappers even kind of sent their congratulations to me when I made it to Toronto.
yeah, yeah. It is definitely a more kind of bigger thing over there and where you are from than over here. But I think it's quite interesting and topic because it is something that I guess not many people talk about like on a podcast. So it's great to hear about like all the like your experience like growing up with it kind of a bit later on and like trying to understand it and like and now you're a pro rapper.
Yeah, yeah, true. And it's like, and I enjoy it too. Like, there's some parts about it that you gotta enjoy about it too, and like respect too. I feel like it means there's some parts where I look back and there's parts of it that means a lot to me. When
Yeah,
I look at like where I began till now, even when I'm in this room, like there's some certain kind of feeling I got of like the hard work, the grind, but also making something happen from this room being in just an empty room and me just having a USB mic and Dollarama headphones to now having all this equipment around me.
yeah,
To me, it's a big thing.
yeah, yeah, and like it is good though. Like you do tell people when you go to a venue because it can be quite nerve wracking. Like maybe thinking in your head, are they gonna like allow me to go if I say these certain things? But if we don't say these certain things, I guess no one will know what autism is or ADHD. Um,
Yeah.
so it is a big step, but doing the rapping you do, I guess you gain that more confidence the more you do it.
Well, I got the local news for this too. I ended up doing a local news article too. Like I had the local news like interview me, and that was like a big step for me too, because I did a small little article for this employment service and whatever. It was in their newsletter, and then a reporter picked it up, and
Okay.
then I had to talk with a reporter. I did my article for the news, and it was in the local. So it's like it's not like a big secret anymore about my disability. It used to be a secret. Like it used to be only like probably like my family and like the mans I roll with knew. But like now it's a thing, and I went through a lot to try to get myself to this point where I said where I had to like kind of. Because I remember back then it was like I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't know if I'd be ashamed of it or be happy about it. And I just kind of became more because I just didn't want to be afraid of it anymore.
Yeah.
And like I didn't want to feel like a side of me was empty. And that's why, and it was a long process for me to get there. And luckily at the end, a lot of the homies that supported me, they supported my decision at the end of the day and realized, hey, you know what? It is what it is. And they like the TikToks. They like watching it. They like watching what I'm doing. I'll go where we're chilling. They're like, hey, what's up? They like hearing the stories and whatever. They'll be like, I'll be like, okay, want a story time? Here, let's have a story time.
Yeah.
I had like man's drinking and smoking around me while I was doing a story time.
Yeah. It is. Story time's not bad though. It's good to have a story now and then.
They find it entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I guess rapping is entertaining as a whole. So
Yeah, true. Or like they'll hear me freestyle and whatever, I'll freestyle. Like there's some low barrier situations too where you're just freestyling with the bros. You're just in there. You're just rapping. You're just having a good time. But there's also situations where you're rapping and you're on a stage or you're rapping in front of someone who's a bigger name in the industry. Or like, and those are really that could be really a lot on you to do, but you just got to do it.
yeah.
And it is what it is. That's where the mental conditioning comes in. You really got to bring it.
Yeah. Definitely. Mental health has a huge impact, and when you do it and when you want to do it, and maintain
Hmm.
some self-care as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So I think the fact about today, and I guess your whole life, is that you were born to be a rapper.
It was like weird too. Like obviously, I moved to this neighborhood when I was 15 years old, like after my parents split. So and that's where the story in hip hop began. But I always had this kind of like I would say imagination about myself. I probably never lost it too, where it helps me come up with like well rapping too because now you could be a really good thinker. You could think in like punchlines, similes, and have some pretty good wordplay too.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where again, and even like when I'm in the zone, I'll picture in my head what it was at the time. Where the story and whatever, I'll picture it in my head and I'll go through it in the zone.
Yeah. Definitely. You just process but when you want to do something, and then you do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. It is good. It is good. Um like with your music, have you ever done like any tracks with like anyone else, or with other rappers, or do you normally just focus like just do your music like solo?
I'm just doing my music right now, but I am at some point open to collab. I'm just trying to figure out when I can get it done and do it well too. But I do want to like work with other people in the industry. You gotta love a good collab. You gotta love a good feature. You got like it's just one of those things where you gotta love it when you're hearing a rapper that you enjoy listening to, then do a feature with
Yeah.
another rapper too. And it's just it just brings it out really well if you can do it really well, if you can really merge the styles together
Yeah.
well in the studio.
Yeah. It is good. Like I say it's good as I know, but I don't. uh,
But yeah, it's just one of those things. You really gotta it's one of those moments where I really do enjoy like damn, like you could be like, damn, this is fucking hot right here. Like he'd be like, damn, this is some fire shit. Right when you hear that, like there's been times like I'll listen to a rapper and then realize that there's not another feature. I'll be like, woo! And it really does enjoy it. And also with your saying the pandemic, I had a lot of guys start shit during the pandemic. I had people that was like learning how to make beats during the pandemic
yeah.
and doing a lot of shit during the pandemic, and now they want to bring it somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I think most people who did start in the pandemic, they kind of maybe felt that it was only just to be a pandemic thing, like in the lockdown. Sorry, in the lockdowns, like the first lockdown or however many lockdowns there were, lost count of them. But
It depends. It varies from region to region.
yeah,
It varies from region to region, and
who
uh
enforces them and does stuff like for example, I know in New Zealand there wasn't obviously a lot. It was quite limited because they reduced the spread really quickly. But like UK, for example, that like It was a long time but for us over here. And yeah, so what I'm saying is like most people maybe who started a podcast, who started music, felt maybe it's just gonna be a lockdown thing, and then when they thought, hang on a minute, I want to make this further, like you said, you want to take it further, and see where it goes. But it is good because you get to do it when you want, where you when you want to do it, and yeah, it's good. It's a good thing to have.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I guess if I didn't have a podcast, or maybe perhaps, I think you still would have been on the podcast if you never got into rap, but we wouldn't be speaking about rap, would we?
It would probably have been something else. It probably would have been like, but with me with rap, I was into rap before COVID, like before
Yeah,
the COVID, all that stuff. Like I was spitting way before COVID. I just took it more seriously at 19, and even then, that was before COVID.
yeah,
That was before the I what I did take more seriously during COVID was obviously me doing kind of like my public speaking kind of work. Did some webinars, and
yeah,
motivated some people.
yeah,
That good shit.
yeah. Kick them up, kick them up the gears.
Picking up the gears to say, hey, this is how it's done. Here's the blueprint. I'm giving you the blueprint that I followed for me to live my life and do well outside of here. And I really liked doing that kind of work at the time too, because it just helped bring people to believe it themselves. And that was like one big thing. It wasn't like I was teaching social training or anything. It was about getting people to believe in themselves and get in what they wanted to do. And that
Yeah,
was a big thing for me.
yeah. It's good when you share your story and share and talk to maybe people that like on a webinar or just like a meeting, that you share your story and you tell them your experience and maybe things that should be getting done. Because I think for people who that like autism or autistic themselves, so that more will get done if more of us about our experiences like on the webinars, for example, and then and things will get done. Hopefully.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Fingers crossed though.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully we can build people up and we build this community up and it could be a bigger thing than what we're in right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It is I think it's like anything, it starts small and then gets bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's so many like we spoke about in the pre-chat about being hobbies, interests is quite a passionate thing with being in the community, in the autism community, about certain hobbies and how we talk about them and like I, I, I think it's a quite interesting thing about people in the community that about all the different hobbies that we have.
Hmm. In my honest opinion, though, if we were to take what we do, our skills and what we want to do for our profession, and put it to more of a business entrepreneurial side to it, I think we could really build the community up. In my honest opinion, if we're willing to learn how to run numbers
Mm,
and like learn how to like profit, market, and all that, I think that would build us to a bigger, better place.
yeah, and do things that we actually want to do because especially growing up, you had loads of people even now that have a job maybe they dislike because they like as we know it's hard to get a job when you're autistic. But like you say, if you start your own thing up or like like build on your own interest, if it's rapping, if it's
We worked a
sports.
bunch of hard labor. I worked a bunch of hard jobs. I worked jobs as dishwashers right from I was a teenager, like or cleaning or whatever. And a lot of autistics too that were like outside and doing their thing too. They were working jobs too. They were working hard work and because that was what was available. We didn't have like a nice like cozy office job available for us right in the get go. We had to go put in that work. We were working nightlife jobs. We were up to like 2 or 3 in the morning still working.
Yeah. Um, do you do that sometimes when you're recording, like music, like do you ever do that like at that time, or do you like to do it earlier in the day or like?
I'll write late at night, but if I start recording it late at night, bro, it's too it's too close together. It's too close together.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't. But I can like obviously I've written lyrics late at night. I've like written some lyrics, I jotted some lyrics, ran beats off my phone. Excuse
Yeah.
me about that. And I went and I started doing that. I've done that late at night a bunch of fucking times.
Mm.
I've been up to like 2 or 3 in the morning still doing lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it?
And it could be a very daunting thing. But if you got that drive late at night and you get it done.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you don't want to stay up all night, and get no sleep. You still want to have some sleep.
I just say, hey, I got ADHD, I got energy.
Yeah. Yeah. You're superhuman.
I got energy. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like I'll be out still partying because of my ADHD too.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Um. Like they're like with ADHD and autism, like they're they are similar in ways, but they are different. Um.
Mhm.
Like because I guess I hear some more now, like it's good that you got diagnosed near enough at the same time, like when you were 4. But like I hear quite a lot now where like a friend of mine got diagnosed with ADHD the other day, and autism maybe like not when they were like born or like growing up, like as an adult, and then diagnosed ADHD a bit later on, like a couple days ago. So
I feel better about it too. I feel
mm,
better about it too because I feel like with more people getting diagnosed, the more the resources are getting available. But it's still a long way until resources for help for people are gonna go and be farther and be more. But like I do at the same time do feel for those people too because they didn't when I hear about these stories about from TikTok, Instagram, and see what I've heard and whatever. It sounds like they're going through a lot mentally and they start questioning a lot of their existence. And it gets to probably obviously I can't like relate to that part because I was diagnosed and I was still a very young child. But
mm,
when I see those people, I'm like, hey, I feel for you. Like, and I would say to those people, just try to like find yourself in it. In the way too, I feel like one I found out I was autistic at 10 years old. Like I remember just kind of going through an identity crisis, and it's like they're probably going through a similar thing too. That's the closest I have to relate to that. And to those people, I would say just try to find the good side to it too. Find the parts of it that like you knew you could have done better, and you know
yeah, yeah,
you can do. Take it and figure it out, but also I tell this goes, I think, for any autistic too, no matter who you are. But you, at the end of the day, you gotta believe in yourself. I feel like, and you gotta find it in you. You find your own personal inner strength and resilience to pursue what you want, and all of that. Yeah, it's cool to have, let's just say, like a safe place. But you want something in life, go out there and be on the grind. Go be outside.
yeah. Definitely, I completely agree. It's really good advice because like you got to believe in yourself because not we're not going to believe in ourselves all the time, but like you say, and try and find the good side of it. Um, which I completely agree with. It like SD Flame. Is there before we go because we've spoken about awful a lot of things. Like
I would say too, like I remember even when I was mentally conditioned to be a rapper, my homeboy, which I knew since I was 19, I met him when I was still working on my downtown jobs, and I remember going to his where his store was, where he was he was working in that store, and I'd be working obviously one of the more nightlife parts of the mall, and I would show him when I work on raps and whatever, and he looked at me and he thought to himself, you know what, this kid is writing some fire. But we got to figure out how we're going to get this shit out of him and bring it out of him, so then we can get him flowing properly and whatever, and him not so stuttering, him not so tense.
Yeah, yeah. That's completely it. I think. But yeah, it's been really good speaking to you.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And having you on, and I'm glad you've enjoyed it. I think this is your second podcast now that you've been on.
Yeah, second one. First one with Thomas Henley. More to come. More to come. I'm always willing to like put in work and keep pushing. There's always gonna be new goals. There's always gonna be something new on the table. And I know that for sure. And this is just the beginning of what I'm doing, and I know that.
Yeah, because it's good you're doing that kind of stuff and sharing your story, because like I don't like, I think I know some people, but like who do rapping, but don't maybe to talk about openly within autism. But it's good that you do that and you raise awareness while doing rapping. I think.
Well, I do it like this. Like when you hear my songs, I'll reference it, but I won't outright be like I'm autistic on a beat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So it's like if you listen to my music, and it's like I like doing that too, because it gives the listener something to think about.
Yeah.
Like when I'm like this. Was one of many loners, but my thoughts were louder. My mind I go immersed, honestly, you can't rest. It's pretty much the hardest. It's a lot to digest. Hard to swallow a pill, but I got power and will. Like you can hear the reference in it, but I don't outright say it. I finesse it.
Yeah. 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 I think I think that is a good way, because like at least you say it in its own way.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, yeah. But to anyone who is watching, listening, and we hope you've really enjoyed the episode. And you check out the Flames music, because it's really good.
If anyone wants to know, I'm always looking to drop. I'm trying to like get more of this popping. I really want 2023 to really be a really lit year for me. I really want it to be something special. So it's like I'm dropping music. If you like what you hear, I promise you there's more coming. Let's put in work. Let's make it to the top.
Yeah. More to come in 2023. Like, but fingers crossed for the rest of the year. SD Flame. And
fingers crossed we don't end up in another situation, but who knows?
Who knows?
It's the 2020s.
Yeah, we needed a bit of 2040s, don't we?
Yeah. Hey, yo, thanks for having me on here. I appreciate all the love and support I get.
Yeah, and
so
thank you, and thank you again to everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, SD Flame.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on here. I really enjoy your podcast.